Alright, so I'm sure all of you have been to a commencement ceremony of some kind before. Being the brother of 3 siblings, I've been to my fair share. I feel like there's always that inevitable moment when a high school valedictorian or the faculty member or even a guest speaker comes up and then just rambles on and on about who knows what. That might sound a little bit harsh, but that was my impression of most commencement speeches. I was very surprised then when I stumbled upon the speech that I'll be analyzing today. It was given by William H. McRaven, a decorated admiral and a former Navy SEAL. McRaven sent the University of Texas class of 2014 off with valuable life lessons that he learned in basic SEAL training. And through his words, I believe he made a difference in many of their lives. So our speaker today is Admiral William H. McRaven. He's been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. That includes being on SEAL Team 6 for a year, and he was the commanding and executive officers of SEAL Team 3 and 4. He holds the rank of Admiral. He won the Bronze Star, and most recently he served as the commander of the Joint Special Operations Command. He also graduated from the University of Texas, which is another reason he gives his speech. Let's just get the speech.
Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. To the class of 2014, you are moments away from graduating. Moments away from beginning your journey through life. Moments away from starting to change the world for the better. It will not be easy, but you are the class of 2014, the class that can affect the lives of 800 million people in the next century. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Thank you very much. Hook 'em horns.
So a lot of his speech is in that format where he'll take something from his SEAL basic training and then he'll relate it to a life lesson. So when he says ring the bell, obviously he's basically saying don't give up. So as I said, the audience was the class of 2014 at University of Texas. I noticed that he frequently talks about his experience in the Navy SEALs, but he doesn't bog down the speech with too much, like technical military stuff. He just uses it to sort of like keep the audience engaged. And so he remains audience-centered that way. So he uses a lot of rhetorical devices. One of them would be analogy, which he uses a lot during the speech, because he keeps taking little pieces of his SEAL training and that he'll relate it to a life lesson. So it's sort of an analogy there. He also uses anaphora when he says, ring the bell and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, etc. So he repeats ring the bell at the beginning of each sentence. He uses asyndeton and climax when he says, know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are toughest, face down the bullies, and never ever give up. If you do these things, then the next generation and the generation that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. So he says that at the end of his speech because it's sort of the high point, so it's the climax of his speech. And he's also using asyndeton because he's taking out the conjunctions in between. So like when he says, take some risks, step up when times are toughest, he doesn't use any conjunctions. And finally, he uses amplification when he says, if you fail to meet those standards, your name was posted on a list. And at the end of the day, those homeless were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics designed to wear you down, break your spirit, and force you to quit. So he says circus, which he knows the audience has no idea what that is, but then he clarifies it afterwards. For ethos, pathos, and logos, he says, for ethos, I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years, which sort of disqualifies him to the audience, because, I mean, I would trust a Navy SEAL. Pathos, he uses pathos when he says, and if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. So instead of using logic or credibility to make his point, he kind of appeals to the audience emotions and sort of the sense of pride that you would get from making your bed every morning. And finally, he uses logos when he says that great paragon of analytical rigor, Ask.com, says that the average American will meet 10,000 people in their lifetime. That's a lot of folks. But if one of you changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those folks changed the lives of another 10 people, then in 5 generations, the class of 2014 will have changed the lives of 800 million people. So he uses a statistic he found to prove to the audience that they can indeed change the world. So I think this speech is significant because it does exactly what a commencement speech should do. It's short, it's concise, and it's really inspiring. And I thought it was a great speech. I saw it a year ago, and I still remembered it today. So, job well done. Thank you.